Hello and welcome to the Enchantress Society podcast with me, Tia Johnson. Put your muggle life on pause and travel with me to a place of magic, empowerment, and wonder as I interview prominent guests in the spiritual world and spill the enchanted tea on all of the ways you can conspire to craft the magical life you deserve. Always and forever, the Enchantress Society podcast is your virtual coven where I am rooting for you to succeed every step of the way. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Enchantress Society. So, for this episode, this is a topic that I wanted to discuss for a while now because support has been an issue for so many people. So I wanted to dive into how you can support yourself and not rely on people and all that jazz. We're going to get into a few things, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to rely on yourself, okay? You are your own backup team, right? Of course, you can have people by your side, but you have to count on yourself first and foremost. So before we dive into that, housekeeping. So if we are not connected on Instagram, let's get connected. All right. I am at cosmic_witch_goddess. And the podcast Instagram is enchantress_society_podcast. The links are in the description. I can't talk. The links are in the description of this episode. There you go. Also, applications are open, so you can apply to join the Enchantress Lounge. This is a one-on-one 3-month mentorship where we dive into your spiritual lifestyle needs. So this is a journey to create the life you desire. Okay, so I talked about that in depth in the previous episode, so check that out. Okay, and again, this is a one-on-one mentorship. And it is a transformative journey. So check out the previous episode to get information on that. I'll include the link where you can apply in the description for this episode as well. And it's a 10-question application. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Also, if you're not on the newsletter list, get on it. This is how you join the Enchantress Society. Is pretty easy. So you can go to my website, tiamariejohnson.com. A pop-up will show and you can join that way, or you can just scroll down the front page of the website and you can join the newsletter that way. I send motivational emails weekly. And also recently, as of this month, I sent a tarot theme reading. Okay, so it's something to focus on for the month. It's a theme to focus on. All right, and something you can apply to your daily practices. All right, so let's get into the topic. All right, so navigating unsupportive relationships, staying true to your path. I know it's hard, especially when you are starting a business. Okay, and you want people to be part of your team, or you are on your spiritual journey and it's just really private for you at the moment, or people are just giving you a little bit of the side eye, like, I don't know what what she's really into, but okay. And sometimes we look for that support, but what we have to remember is that, and I'm going to dive deeper into this, but I just wanted to kickstart this with a reminder. The visions that Spirit has given us are our visions that we need to see through. Okay, we are our first line of defense. We have to be able to count on ourselves first and foremost. Okay, no one is coming to save you. And I tell a funny story. So this was many years ago. Actually, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee before I tell this. This was many years ago. Man, this may have been the second trip to Mexico with my best friend. It was early on. It was so many years ago. And so we were we went to another resort where it had all these attractions, and we decided to check out this place that had the biggest aquarium, something. And so first we tried the scuba diving? Snorkeling. And I just couldn't get under the water. I put all the gear on and I just couldn't get past that feeling. I don't like that feeling where you are just I don't quite know how to explain it, but it's when you're going in the water, but you didn't sink yet. You just didn't go down yet, and you're just kind of floating in a weird way. I didn't like it. So I tried it again, didn't work. All right. So I take off the gear and then we decide to get on the flotation device that's shaped like a donut and we're floating along. And so above us it's this man-made tunnel, basically branches, twigs and stuff over above. So you can guide yourself along, so you can pull on some of these branches and push yourself forward. So I got a little confident. That was part of the problem. I got too confident. All right. So I got a little confident on the floating donut. All right. And then we had a camera inside of a protective case. All right. So we get to the part where now we're no longer in the tunnel. This is me and my best friend. Now everything's open. Okay. I lean over to give her the camera, but I fall over. So I'm no longer on that flotation device, that floating donut, and I fall into the waters. Now, here's where I'm going to explain a little bit of how I think. This is why many times my best friend is my interpreter, because she would say, Tia's thinking over here. So for those of you who aren't watching the video format, my hand is over to the left side. So it's like Tia's in left field, because that's just what my brain defaults to. It's just imaginative, a lot of things going on. And so sometimes I got to bring it back. Okay. So in my mind, we were just floating along and the water wasn't that deep. It was okay. Not the case at all. It was basically a big ass river. Okay. That we just opened up into. So now my goggles fell in the water. I'm not retrieving it. And I'm standing on this little rock. And I'm thinking, and I don't know why I thought this, but I thought a little tugboat was going to come and I can get on this boat and it will take me to the steps. So there are checkpoints along the way. So the steps weren't too far from where I was, but I didn't know how to swim. I took one swimming class, like two. So, okay. So this little kid goes to my best friend and says, I think your friend needs help. So Caroline looks back and she just sees me standing there on this little rock. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So she goes, you got to swim. And I said, isn't a tugboat coming? She goes, Tia, it's Mexico. There's no tugboat. You got to swim. So I swam and I'm touching her leg and I'm swimming and I go, I'm not comfortable. But I made it to the steps and I walked up and I just was done. I was just like, I'm not doing this again. Point of that crazy story is not the fact that I got too comfortable in the floating donut or that I don't even know what happened to the camera. Maybe she remembers. The point of it was no one was coming to save me. Okay. So I had that moment where I thought, oh yeah, there has to be something, right? No, I didn't stay in that delusional phase of no, someone has to come get me. I swam. I swam. All right. So when it comes to support, don't expect it from people, especially right away. I'm not saying that people shouldn't support you, right? What I'm saying is you have to support yourself first and foremost. Okay. Let's get into the nitty gritty of this. I still can't believe that we laugh about that every now and then. Where's the tugboat? There is no tugboat. All right. So understanding the dynamics. All right. So the friends and family who don't support your aspirations, don't hold it against them. Okay. I know that's easier said than done. I know it's, well, they should support. Yes, I get that. But here's the thing, there are many reasons why they don't. Okay. And sometimes they do come around to support you, but I don't want you to hold on to that and not move forward because you're not getting the support that you believe you deserve or the support that you feel like should be given, because you're doing good or whatever the case may be. That can really delay the process of what you are looking to achieve. And that's the last thing you want to do. So what you have to remember is that it's your calling, it's your vision, okay, it's your passion, all right? And no one will care more than you anyway. Meaning for what you want to do, that calling that you have, it's meant for you. So you can't hold other people to the standard that you will be holding to yourself for your vision, for that calling, for your passion. It's not going to work. Okay, so I just really want to hone that in here because it's easy to get caught up in the thought process of, well, why don't they support me? They should support me. This is crazy. I truly understand that. I get it, but don't let that stop you, okay? And don't get caught up in catching attitudes with people and all that because that's not going to help the situation. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, don't hold a grudge about it. Okay, I know again it's one of those things where you may think, but don't hold a grudge. That's only going to delay what you're looking to accomplish. Okay, you don't have time to have that in your body, especially in your nervous system. Okay, it's just not going to be helpful. They can't give you what you're looking for, so don't force it. Okay, they may come around. They can't give you the the certain things that you need to progress. Okay, they can't give you what you need to see your passion through to whatever it is you're looking to do. All right, so because it's for you, you have to give yourself that. All right, now this doesn't mean that they won't help you. All right, it's just about not putting the onus on them too, if that makes sense. Okay. Because as I was saying, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the show. I know this is going to be something easier said than digesting, it. Okay. Because people want their mother, their sister, their father, their brother, their significant other to support them. And I would say with your significant other, have a conversation. All right. That's something that is a case by case basis. So I'm not going to tell you what to do with that. Okay. But what I am suggesting is to have those lines of communication open, share your vision with your spouse, talk to them about it. Okay. Really have that open conversation with them. Don't have secrets. Don't hold back. All right. Just really explain to them what's going on. Okay. But understand that you still have to do the work. All righty. And moving right along. All right. So finding your support system. I want to read this article. This is from cdc.gov. I'll include a link in the description. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, or this article is because a lot of people have been telling me that they don't have any support system. And with this article, it's saying that with social and emotional support, you can get that. Okay, you can get that from different areas. So it doesn't have to be from your immediate family per se, but it's a high percentage where you can get that support that you need. So I'm going to read this article and then I'm going to dive a little bit more into it. Social and emotional support is positively associated with improved well-being and a reduced risk of premature mortality. So again, this is of course beneficial. We know that, but this is this is something that you want to think of after you are willing to go the extra mile for yourself. Okay. So this is at a point where you are being open with people. So I would recommend to do this in a very small space with people who you trust. Okay. Because when you are embarking on something new, especially, you're going to share that with very few people because they're going to give you that support that you do need, but you have to speak up. Okay. That's the thing too. So when you're not getting support from your immediate environment, from people in your immediate environment, you can go to a Facebook group and you can do something like, how can I say this? You can make a post saying, hey, anyone wants to get together virtually and have a work group space where you talk and chat and things like that. So it can start off as a surface level conversation, and then you could go a little bit deeper. And this is where you get a feel for people. A lot of times it's going to be strangers who end up supporting you. Okay. Hardcore than people who you know for a very long time. And then sometimes the people who you have known for a very long time will come around to support you. So this is about that element of discernment when you meet people, but to keep in mind to speak up a little bit. I talk to some of my entrepreneur friends when I'm when I have some feelings, okay, and it's very helpful. Or my project manager, right? Someone who is in that space, who I trust, who I can talk to. And also, even if it's a pity party, it doesn't last long. Okay. So someone who's also not going to let you, boo-hoo for forever, right? I wouldn't let myself boo-hoo forever, but you also need people to make sure that you don't slip in that matter. So the social and emotional support is available. Okay, it is available. You're just going to have to look a little further, but also this doesn't mean that you're going to put the onus on them. This means that you can find the support that you are looking for. You're just going to have to go a little bit further than you planned. All right. The frequency by which adults receive social and emotional support they need can vary by demographics and can be impacted in times of stress. The report describes the percentage distribution of perceived social and emotional support among adults age 18 and over, and how the percentage of adult who always or usually has a support varies by selected social demographic characteristics based on the data from the National Health Interview Survey. All right. So I'm just going to read this next line here. More than 3/4 of adults age 18 and over always or usually receive the social and emotional support they needed. Among all adults, 52.4% always receive, 25.1% usually receive, 12.2% sometimes receive, 4.3% rarely receive, and 6% never receive the social and emotional support they needed. Okay, so this is also about finding your tribe, right? You find your tribe by the work you put into yourself. This is why I said earlier, you have to be your first line of defense. You have to be your first backup. Okay. And then those people will come along. All right. And then they will help you in various ways, but you have to start with yourself first. So the support is there. You just are looking in the wrong places. Okay. So I want to read another article here. Let's see. It was something. Oh, yes. Here we go. So, or not an article, but a little excerpt here. So, explaining an example of social and emotional support. So, what does that look like? Okay, so various services. So, this does include family outreach. So, some family members could very well support you, behavior support, counseling support groups. Okay, so basically just a support group, investments in a safe and positive environment. All right, so really it can be a cohort that you're in. It could be a mentor. All right. As I mentioned, typically it's going to be a small group of people, not because it's something that more people can't be a part of. It's just that there's very few people who will go the extra mile to do certain things anyway. So it's going to be a small group of people, or maybe one person who you can confide in, who's going to be supportive and so forth. But the support is there. That's what I want to hone in here. The support is available. You just got to be in different environments. All righty. So some strategies for this support network, okay, and finding your support system. As I demonstrated, the support is there. It's just different demographics, different environments that you need to be in. So first, this is always the first step, acknowledgement. So acknowledge the environment that you're in, the situation that you're in. Is it that you're in the right environment to have that soundboard, okay, to have someone or a small group of people who you can talk to? Okay, so start there. All right. What is the situation? And this is something I've been saying for years, and I say this about myself. I say I'm my own cheerleader. Okay, I'm my own cheerleader. It's nice when people acknowledge what I've done, but I had to acknowledge it for myself first and foremost. There's just no way I can navigate life without being my own cheerleader. I can't see that happening. Okay, once upon a time, when I wasn't as much of a cheerleader for myself, I definitely sought a lot of external validation, and I sought that through academics. So, the more awards I receive, job well done, you're so smart, blah, 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 for your bachelor's degree, et cetera, working on my master's, before I had my foot surgery. All of that was just, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Got awards on very fine paper, bachelor's degree is written in Latin. I was just thinking to myself, oh, yes, look at all this validation, right? But I had to dial the external validation back and turn the internal validation up. Okay. So I had to cheerlead for myself with a capital C. All right. I had to claim that, because, or reclaim that, because when the external validation supersedes the internal, that's a problem. Because I know people say, oh, they don't care about what other people think. I care about the people who I value in my life. I care what they think about. Okay. To a certain extent. Right. So, for example, I care about my family, some things that they have to say. I want to make sure that everyone's proud of me. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. My friends. Right. I want to make sure that I value what they say and take into consideration what they say. I care about that. But people who I don't know, they have something negative to say. Maybe I'll listen to it. Maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe they'll say something like, oh, Tia, I don't know, you say too much. And I would say you're probably right. And I've been working on that, and I'll be more cognizant of that. Right. But other than that, just keep in mind who's telling you what. Okay. There's a lot of people on the sidelines telling people who are doing the work, boost to the ground, what they should be doing. And it's just like, I'm good. Okay. So be your own cheerleader. All right. Because you need to be what you are seeking. So if you're looking for this support system, if you're not cheerleading for yourself, you're not validating yourself, you can't expect other people to root for you more than you are rooting for yourself. It doesn't work that way. All right. It's not sustainable. All right. So understand too that everyone's going through something. Okay. So again, this goes back to don't hold grudges. Everyone is going through something. Okay. Some people just handle it better than others. Okay. So if someone doesn't support you at a certain time, let it go. Okay. Now, again, I know for some people it's, well, this person is XYZ. I understand it. So you have to make a decision, right? You have to just put everything into perspective. Would so-and-so, my brother, my best friend, my mom, whoever, my uncle, significant other, would they be there? I'm not going to include significant other because that's a different ballgame. All right. Other people, would they be there if it wasn't for their situation or something, whatever? Yes, of course. Okay. I'm not going to say with a shadow of a doubt and make a blanket statement that, they need to be there for you all the time, no matter what. Sure, of course. I know. Yes, that's what we want. But sometimes some things happen, and one time someone maybe can't make it to your show. Okay. They may have a meeting somewhere. Their child may be sick. Okay. So it doesn't mean that they don't care about you. You just have to take some things into consideration. All right. Make sure you're cutting out the negativity. Back to what I was saying about the pity party. Okay. Maybe you are thinking, oh, I wish I had, people who come to see me perform. I wish. Okay. I hear you. Don't let that seep over into all your conversations, and you start talking about how people are horrible, they don't care, they are this, they are that. Okay, don't let that get to you and turn that into negativity. Turn that into something that's going to be positive. Okay, you can think of something like, okay, this is something that I need to do anyway. So I'm just going to show up for myself. And when they see me progressing and eventually being successful, maybe they'll have a change of heart and start to care about what I'm doing. Maybe they'll start to show up a little bit more. Maybe they just didn't quite get it. Maybe they were just nervous and worried for me and they wanted me to take what they would think would be the safe route. Okay. So sometimes it's just about showing up for yourself and letting them see the results, because let's be honest, so many people really don't care about the background work. There are very few people who care about the background work because they are willing to go the extra mile to do all these other things that most people don't want to do. Unfortunately, that's not the case for so many others. A lot of people say they want to know, what's your secret, what do you do, what's a day in the life, and they're taking it, go, that's great, oh yeah, and they may take a few notes and implement one. And one meaning that's it, and it's not going to last, as opposed to implementing one at a time and letting that compound to something else and something else. So it's one of those things that happen. All right, moving right along, finding your support system, cut out negativity, and also I know this is going to be rough for some people, myself included, asking for help. You have to know who to ask help from and understand who can give you what, right? You just got to understand who your friends are. And also, this doesn't mean take advantage of them. Okay. This means just understanding who they are and what they can give you. Okay. If you have a friend who has 2 kids under the age of 5, leave them alone. Okay. And with some exception, right? Because they are really involved and they are still new parents and they're trying to get settled. Okay. So, just keep that in mind. All right. Don't be too harsh on people. Okay. All right. So that person can help you in other ways. They may say, hey man, they may even be in another state. So they may repost on social media what you post. They may tell their friends to check you out. Hey, my friend's performing in X place on X date. Okay, they're going to help you in other ways. So be appreciative regarding how people show up for you, because everyone's going to show up in a different capacity. Okay. All right. So all that to say, sometimes people will try to get you to believe in a narrative that, I don't want to say no one is there for you, but they try to get you to believe in something that just isn't true about your path. Okay. When you are going for it, it could be even a career. Okay. And it could be that that person's miserable. Or they could just be a pessimist. Who knows? Okay. but look at things as a case by case basis. All right. And just remember to rely on yourself first and foremost. All right. And then you will have a different perspective about the people in your life. All right. And again, I understand some people are going to say, but that's my best friend. They're supposed to be there. I agree. What I'm saying is sometimes some things happen. Okay. Some things happen. All right. Going on to when you do come across people, the like-minded individuals who understand you, they share the similar goals and aspirations. So this is great when you do get to this point. But I also want you to think, as I was saying just a few moments ago, about different friends can offer different things. And, also understand, especially when you're just starting out, know that you just need yourself in the beginning. You need to just really cancel out all distractions and focus on yourself and what you need to do. Right. So in the beginning, it may be that maybe you need someone to take care of dinner. Well, now Uber Eats, just get the Uber Eats. Okay. So you have to think about it. Maybe you may need the house to be clean. Okay. Focus on time blocking where you focus on what you're looking to accomplish. And then you set a time to clean the house or you hire a cleaning service. The beauty about living in this day and age is that there are so many options available to you to get things done, and you get to support small business in the process, like the cleaning service, like the home delivery service. It doesn't have to be Uber. There are other services that are small business owned. So there are a lot of things that you can do to help yourself during this time. Support yourself in other ways. Okay. Now, there's the moral support, the emotional support I talked about, the resource support. Define what you need, okay? Because sometimes when we get in a zone and when some people talk to the wrong people, they start to tell you what you should expect from certain people. And so it may not be what you need, right? It could be that you may need someone to talk to from a wisdom intellectual standpoint. Okay, that you need to talk out loud about some process improvement, something that you're looking to just iron out the static, right? Or it could be emotional support, right? Where you just may need to go out one night, go out to a nice restaurant, go out to a nice lounge, nothing crazy, just go out and you're just talking, you're having a good time, good conversation, good food, good drinks. Okay. And that person just showed up for you emotionally. All right. And you didn't even have to talk about your passion or anything like that. It's just a way to get your mind off of things, refresh, restart, all right, and then get back to it. All right. So start understanding what you actually need, okay, as opposed to complaining or even venting. That's fine. But just remember who you are venting to, because you don't want people to steer you in the wrong direction. Okay. And make you think that you need so many other things when you really don't. It could be that you just need a night out to go, like I was saying, to a nice restaurant, and then maybe walk around for a little while, go to a nice event, just take your mind off of things. Okay. So start defining what you actually need in your support system. All right. So setting boundaries. All right. So the healthy boundaries with unsupportive people. All right. So, forgive them. Don't forget about it. Forgive them and move on, really, because again, they may not understand what you're doing. It may be so foreign to them that they are trying to convince you to go the safe route. Okay. Some people may not want you to do this because they already see your greatness before you realize it. All right. They don't want to feel left behind. They may think, oh my gosh, what if they really make it and leave me? Okay. So many things are going on through people's mind. This is why I say have discernment, start understanding who you're around. And it could be a generational thing too. Who knows? All right. You just got to understand your environment, who you're around, all that jazz. Okay. So, have those boundaries. Don't try to convince them. Don't try to tell them every little thing that you're doing. Again, so few people care about the process until you get the results that everyone goes, ooh, and and how did you do that? And even then, as I was mentioning earlier, some people still don't care, right? Even though they claim to care. So, forgive them, move on, don't forget. It kind of reminds me of this book my mom gave me when I was a kid, because I absolutely love to read. And it was this book. I don't remember the name of it, but it was this hen on a farm who wanted to bake bread. And the hen went around and asked all the different animals on the farm, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Everyone said, no, 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 no. Okay. So she bakes the bread. The bread smells good. Everyone comes around. Everyone wants a slice. And so she just reminded them, when I asked you for this, you didn't help. But she ended up sharing her bread. So there's many ways to look at that story. One, no one's required to help you. Okay. Keep that in mind. No one is obligated to help you. Okay. And again, I know some people are going to say, what about my spouse? What about my best friend? I get it. All right. It's a case by case basis. I can't say without knowing you personally in your situation that, oh man, that's messed up. Your spouse isn't supporting you. Maybe your idea is not solid enough when you present it to your spouse, and your spouse may say, hey man, we got kids and things like that. Like, what's your game plan here? How much money is this going to cost? So I'm not going to put anyone's spouse on blast or anything like that. That's a conversation that you need to have for you to figure out with, your spouse. If it's a business you're looking to start, your spiritual journey that you may want to go on retreat and spend X amount of money. So I'm not in the business of bashing spouses or anything like that. That is a case by case basis that you will have to figure out for yourself. Same thing with best friend, or your brother or your sister, right? So case by case basis. If you feel like, you're super close to your sister, super close to your brother, and you're thinking, man, like I'm not feeling the support, have a conversation with them. Like, hey, I would love for you to come to my show. I would love for you to come to my workshop, and have that talk first, but don't bash them. No one's required to help you. No one's coming for you. Like with me, the tugboat is not coming. I had to swim. All right. Which I had very little swimming experience, very, very little. All right. So get into that mindset, so again, don't try to convince them of anything. All right. Stay private, continue on, and just let them see the results. Okay. All right. So cultivating inner strength. When facing unsupportive relationships, okay, this goes back to understanding who the people are in your life and the roles that they play. Everyone plays a role, okay? And when you understand that, you have a better mentality, okay? And you're able to move on without feeling slighted. Sure, for a small amount of time, you may feel like, oh, this is dumb. They're not supporting me. I can't wait till I get to that point and ha ha ha, I'm laughing all the way to the bank. That's great. Make that your motivation, but don't let that rest in your system, because now your passion, your goal, your calling isn't about any of those things. It's just about revenge. So now you're doing it for someone else and not for yourself. Okay. So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right. Continue to build your self-confidence and maintain focus on your path. So go to the gym, focus on personal growth, eat better. I'm not saying don't ever eat buffalo wings, don't ever eat pizza. What I am saying is don't make that a regular thing. Okay. I mentioned this before. I love going to the gym. I always leave feeling better, stronger, sexier, more capable. I never left the gym feeling worse off than when I entered the gym. Okay. But it helps because when you are focusing on yourself, you're not going to get caught up in why this person isn't supporting you, why that person isn't supporting you. You're too busy supporting yourself, going to the gym, eating better, focusing on your sleep. And I'm saying that loosely because I'm a night owl and my sleep schedule is crazy. Okay. So, all right. So, when it comes to sleeping, you figure that out. Okay. And also changing the people who you hang around. Don't shy away from cutting certain people off. Okay. So this isn't about having a grudge and showing people, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. This is about when you are so focused that if people are trying to send negativity your way, if they keep trying to tell you what you should be doing and all these other things that just doesn't make sense, you're going to have to just distance yourself a bit. This also means inanimate objects, okay? Like gaming systems. I did not purchase the PS5. And my friends and my family just couldn't believe it. They could not believe it that Tia Johnson did not buy a PS5. And I said to them, I know myself. I will buy video games, especially Mortal Kombat. Man, at my height, when I was a kid, you did not want to see me in Mortal Kombat, okay? I'm telling you this. Sega Genesis, Mortal Kombat, you did not want to smoke. All right, but as I got older, I had to take a few steps back. And I know, I just know myself. I would be playing video games way more than focusing on what I need to do. And that would not have been helpful for me. So my inner strength is knowing who I am, knowing myself, so I can stay focused on my path. Okay, it doesn't mean I won't get it later down the road, but I had to hit a certain marker, and now they're coming out with the PS6 now. So there's that. But I'm saying that because there are things in our lives where we think, oh, that's no big deal. Oh, I only do that a little bit. Oh, that's not much. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I'm telling you. This is coming from someone who played video games 12 hours straight. And the only reason why I stopped, I was playing with my little brother because our mom woke up and told us to cut the game off. It was midnight. We still laugh about that to this day. We were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Gosh, what was that? I think it was on the PS3 at the time. Yeah, we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It was 12 hours straight, and she woke up and like, turn the game off. We would play the game on mute, so she wouldn't hear us. And she woke up like, what is going on? Turn it off. But anyway, so, know yourself, get rid of those distractions. This deals with your inner strength, right? So, to help maintain your focus. Okay. So it's not just people, it's things as well. All right. So when you cultivate a strong sense of self-worth, these brackets on the back of my teeth. And okay, let's say this again. Cultivating a strong sense of self-worth and inner validation. Okay, like I was saying earlier, validate yourself first. Okay, you are your own support system. And when other people support you, now that's a bonus. Okay, it's a bonus. And that's the beauty of it, because at the end of the day, you have your own back. And the tribe, the community that you will be building, because you're growing, you're getting stronger, you're being focused, you're focusing on your health and so many other things. People are going to see that. They're going to respect that. And they're going to wonder, what is this person doing? What are they up to? They're going to see how you dress, how you take better care of yourself. Because I'm telling you, when you start focusing on yourself more, people are going to want to be around you. So now you just have to be discerning about who's going to be in your space, okay? Because you don't want people who aren't growing, who aren't doing anything, who aren't creating anything around you. You don't want people who see you doing a little something and now they want to be a part of that. Okay. No. All right. So that's what I have for you when it comes to navigating unsupportive relationships, and staying on your path. Don't count on them. It's the long story short. Don't count on them. Yes, it's okay to want that. Again, when it comes to your spouse, your best friend, your brother, your sister, people who you're really close to, that's something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. Like I said, I'm not in the business of bashing spouses and all that jazz. Okay. Have those communication, those conversations, explain, I would love for you to, support me in this. Here's my vision. Include people in your vision, right? Those who you trust, right? Because you can't tell everyone your vision, all right? Because they may try to sabotage it. So, be discerning. Discerning is the vocab word of the day. Okay. And really just focus on that. Focus on being your backup, your support system, going to the gym, eating better, having better conversations, surrounding yourself with a different caliber of people. So you do have that soundboard. So when you are receiving that support, it's from the right people, because we know the support is out there. I read the article about the 54% of people, they're getting that support, that social and emotional support. So it's out there. It's definitely out there. Just make sure you're in the right environments and make sure that you're not relying on them to validate you. You validate yourself, and they are the bonus, right? They become part of your net worth. Okay. So that's what I have for you. Support yourself first and foremost. Don't hold grudges with people. Just let them see the end result, and maybe they'll come around. And if they don't, that's okay. That's okay. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you and the betterment of society, whatever you're working on. Okay. Spirit gave you that vision. That calling is for you. That's your passion. You have to see it through. And I'm telling you, there will be times, plural, where it will be just you, and you have to figure it out. Okay. And you're going to have to get resourceful. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we are forged. Okay. All right. So I'm sending you so many blessings, lots of love. I'm rooting for you. Check out Enchantress Lounge. Okay. I would love to work with you. All right. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, Magical One. Visit my website at tiamariejohnson.com to subscribe to my newsletter and be the first to know about upcoming guests and exciting events. As always, I'm sending you lots of love and many blessings. I'm rooting for you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.